Good morning, everybody. This is Richard back at you. Today is our day. We get to play with our own toys. Teresa gets to enjoy the camera life again. We got little Miss Annie out here hanging out, protecting the shop. Got a lot of the work caught up. Still got work to do, but it's not demanding right now, so we get to work on our own things. Got the 6080 6-speed done out the door. But what we've done, the Dirty Bird, we went from 3,400 pounds down to 2,667. When we set the car on the ground, the car just sat there. There was no more spring movement, no suspension movement. All the shocks or the springs and stuff were way too stiff. So we did a complete 4-corner change of springs on the car. We also, we had 2-inch drop spindles on the front of the car before, where we lowered the front end to make it look cool. We did a lot of drag radial racing and stuff like that. Now we do a lot of the no prep stuff. So we want to change the way the suspension reacts. So we took the 2-inch drop spindles off and we went back with the factory height spindles. Instead of the car being like this, it's more almost like this. It's got a little tilt to the butt on it, like here, like that. Instead of the car plowing and coming up and get to neutral and then coming up and putting the weight on the car, it's going to be, or on the rear of the car, it's going to be right on the rear of the car right off the bat. So we also, on the front of the car, before the suspension would only travel up about 3 inches. Now we got it traveling up about 6 to 7 inches to keep the front end up higher, going down the track, farther down the track. When the shocks have given up, the suspension's given up kinda, and you're counting on the wing. And we have a lot of dead weight on the housing that keeps the tires hooked to the track too. So, but anyway, the car sets really nice now. We've got before, like I said, the back of the car wouldn't even move before. Now, you know, you just set on it and you get some travel out of the car. So really excited there. We went from 150s in the rear to 95 springs in the back. We went from 350s in the front to 225 springs in the front. So a lot of changing. Car sets a lot better. But now when we leave the line, the front end ought to come up about that high. The front end should give us a lot more weight on the back. So pretty nice. Teresa?
I think so, Richard.
Yes, you can kind of zoom in there and kind of see what it looks like down here. I'd say we just changed, my flashlight's almost dead, of course. We just changed the spindles right here. And then we also just put new springs on the front of it, and also we put 2-inch shock extensions up here on the top. I don't think you can get in there and see that, but
no, I'd have to turn it upside down.
Yeah, so done a lot of work on the front of the car. Now since we put the spindles on, the Casper and camber's off, the angle, the way the wheel stands up and down. I've got that one standing up good now. We've got our Casper and camber gauge here that we're setting the Casper and camber, and plus if you look here, this wheel here is leaning in at the top. If you put this on there and you come in there and zero it in, you can kind of see where the little floater ball's at. So if I move it out at the top a little bit, we can put it at 0. So we can move it. Setting about almost 1 degree. So, but the driver's side, we got that one straightened out. Turned out really nice, and now we're fixing to work on the passenger side. Had to order some chrome moly tie rod ends. I got some in town that looked a little cheap, and I didn't like the cheapness of them. I wanted to make sure my steering never breaks or anything like that. If it wheelies, comes down, shocks the tires or anything. Don't want to break a tie rod off. But
That's
anyway,
pretty important.
Yeah, it's pretty important, huh?
Let's go over here and see what we got.
We've got this nice little pickup. What year is this, Teresa?
I believe it's an 03.
An 03. It's got a 6.0 in it, I believe. Turbocharged. Really nice turbo. This thing come in warm a minute ago. It would never quit turning. Big old turbo on this thing.
Yeah, Brennan's had this truck since high school.
High
Since
school.
he started driving.
It's got a 4L80E swap in it. It probably had a 4L60E in it to start with. It's got an aftermarket computer, I believe, controlling the tranny, and then they have the factory ECM running the motor. So big old air-to-air intercooler here. Keeps the air coming out of the turbo hot, cools it down, comes in here and puts it in the motor as a lot colder air.
Yeah, Amber's been running this out at which they're fixing to get married, and
Yeah.
so she's been running it. She's doing really good. A lot
Yeah,
better. I
she's
think
never.
She ran what, a 1070
She went
at
1070s
130?
in it. Yep. So that's pretty good. So I think she started out at 12s. There's a lot of things to do in this truck when you get it up there. You got to get the turbos built up, or the turbo boost up. You have to bump in, and then of course she's manually shifting this car, this truck. So she had to really get used to that. I think she hit reverse one time at the top end of the track. We seen the backup lights come on, so she kind of kicked it in there really quick going into high, but really fast truck. I mean, this truck will go in the 9s with no problem. I think they're only running 15 pounds of boost on it right now, so
Well,
not
they're
very much
letting
boost.
her, yeah, they're giving her seat time and stuff
Yeah.
because she's learning.
She said, yeah, from a high 12 to a 1070, Dad, was a big difference. I said, yes, Amber. Wait till he puts 25 pounds of boost to this thing and it goes 950s.
Exactly.
So it's going to be a big difference there for her too, just to feel that power. It's just amazing how you can turn these turbos up and down and make 500 one time, go out and turn a couple clicks on it or however they're tuning it, and make another 500, another 500. It's so easy to do it with a turbo.
Well,
I'm
Squirrel
turbo all the
Tune-
way.
Yeah, Squirrel Tune is actually tuning it, which he actually tunes ours and a lot of other people's. I mean, this is like we've been a race family for many, many years,
Many
this
years.
family.
Yep.
So,
Now this does have a 480E tranny in it. She had to stay on the stutter a little long this weekend, and they think they discolored the fluid, so we're basically going to lift it up and do a service on it. It does have a tranny cooler on it, but like I said, they just got this truck together, and I still need to wire in the fan on the tranny cooler. So. Kind of let it relax there on the locks. These trucks are really wide open in here once you get them. The two-wheel drives
room.
are, yes, just a lot of room.
don't give him any ideas now.
Really nice turbo kit on here. Had a little oil leak on the turbo drain tube, and that's where all this oil come from. I tightened that up yesterday. That's what this oil here is on the transmission pan. Got an aftermarket cross member in here to make the tranny fit. 4L80E is a lot longer unit than a 4L60E.
And look at that exhaust. Woo!
Got drag radials on the back. I'm not sure what type of suspension they call this here. Got a 9-inch Ford rear end under it. Double adjustable shocks, front and rear.
Ooh. Here, let's get a picture from the back. Wow. And they drive this on the road also.
Yes, now this truck is street driven, yes.
It is.
Got
It's
Vikings, nice shocks.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they actually, the races that they run, they have to drive this thing like 5 or 10 miles off the track and then back to the track so they can run the runs. So
Yeah, they have to do a cruise with it 1st.
it's got 2 fuel pumps back here at the tank. It's got one for your normal driving, and then they have another pump set up for race that comes on at higher boost levels. So pretty neat system there. The guys know what they're doing. Their dad's got a big block turbo car. The daughter's got a twin turbo Nova. The son's got a turbocharged Mustang and this truck. The son's boss has got a turbocharged convertible Mustang. So it's just like
I said,
we're a
we've
racing
been
family.
racing with these guys. This has been a racing family for a very long time. Before that, our daughter and Brennan basically started dating.
We're gonna get this pan off here real quick and kind of see what it looks like. Pop the shifter cable loose here. If I can get it out of the way. It does have a cooler underneath, but it doesn't have a fan working on it, so we're gonna hook a relay up and stuff and get that going for him. Look at that arm go, guys. That thing is going. Really excited about that. Actually, I was gonna undo that, but I'm not. I'm just gonna bend it over a little bit. I think I can get it out of there just by bending the linkage a little bit. And then bend it back.
I'm gonna have to get back for this one.
Yeah, it could get a little wet, but
I'm gonna say
I just like to
it's
bend it
gonna
over
get
just a hair. The thing is, my arms, I don't know how strong my arm is to hold the pan up.
So you use it.
Till I try to get all the fluid out of it as I can. Which the drain on these, you know that they always strip out here. You never get them out. And if you do, you're one of the lucky ones. You know, the fluid still is red. Doesn't have any type of weird smell to it.
Yeah, don't smell.
So I don't think they got it too hot. I'm not sure, you know, where this tranny come from or what type of valve body or anything like that. Okay, I wonder how heavy this is. Ooh, that feels heavy. Well, like I said, I don't know how much weight my arm can hold up.
It.
I want to make sure all my bolts are out there. It's kind of crazy. You think you got that, dude, and you don't. There it goes. Which I am getting stronger, but getting a lot stronger. You know, therapy is pretty hard on you in itself, so I'm trying to get used to that.
That's really not bad.
Nope. Not too shabby at all. Now this does have a deep pan in it. You can see here where the, I'm not going to grab a fifth screwdriver. You can see these little spots right here. This pan's got a dent in it right here. We're going to get that out of there. But you can see here, here, and here. That's these little bumps right here on this filter touching the pan to keep the suction from being pushed into the pan. If these little legs right here wouldn't have been on there and that dent got in that pan, you would, and I've seen it before, where the pan was pushed all the way up against this suction right here and killed the tranny. It'll do it every time, especially the early model ones that don't have the legs on there. And if you notice, I mean, you can't see it, but I can see a shadow right here. It's very, you can see the round mark. You can see a little bit of shadow right there.
I can see that.
Can you see that shadow?
Can.
That's where that suction right there
Oh, I bet they
has
can
almost been
too.
touching the pan. And if you look here, you can see how shiny the filter suction is right here around the edge, and the rest of the filter is dark. So that tells me there that this suction could have been bouncing on the bottom of this pan right here, where this tranny wasn't getting all the fluid that it needs. So thank God that had this little leg right here, definitely. But you can see that shininess. Can you see that, Teresa?
I can.
You can. How the rest of the filter's black, but that's shiny. Yeah. That's where that little circle comes from right here. That filter's been beaten off the bottom of the pan.
I can actually see that.
So anytime if you put one in with a floor jack, anything like that, or that pan is bent up in the middle, you better straighten it out because you're going to cause a problem. Especially a Ford C6 tranny. I did one here a long time ago where a gentleman put it in with a floor jack, and a Ford C6 filter, it will just plug completely off. You put it in with a floor jack every time. So, but anyway, it's going to be nice just to change the filter, beat the dent out of the pan, put it back on, put some really nice fluid in it. Like I say, on the cooler back here, it's got a nice cooler. Back here, a nice fan on it, but we need to get the wires hooked up. we'll hook a ground to it, and I'll mount a relay back here. That way we can run a big power wire to it and just turn it on and do it that way. So that way the Tranny will definitely run a lot cooler. So I don't think they got it hot as they thought they did. So pretty good there, huh, Teresa?
Yeah.
Well, we want to thank y'all guys for hanging out and coming and enjoying with us for a little bit. I mean, time to get some more work in here, definitely. Did 2 jobs in 2 weeks. That's pretty good for a one-armed guy, huh? Definitely really good. But don't forget to subscribe, push your notification bell. We really enjoy what we're doing. We're excited to be back.
Don't forget, sometimes we make mistakes, guys.
Oh, definitely, guys.
Chevy, remember? Chevy.
Yeah,
remember?
this is a Chevrolet.
Chevy.
So, but I mean, it's hard to get back in the groove when you've been off 2 or 3 months too, you know, just to come out here and get in front of the camera again and just try to be your normal self and start talking and stuff.
Right, and I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
So
it was like, it just happens.
It does.
You know, I'm always thinking about multiple things going on in the brain, jobs, this, that, and all kinds of things.
We
so
have so much going on.
we
still.
really do. But I want to get on the Dirty Bird. I want to get it back out the track. We haven't got to race in almost 3 years. Which, no, I raced a little bit. I tried to do some testing before I had my surgery that weekend before I went and had surgery.
Yeah,
So
took it out. I think you made a couple of passes, and then it wouldn't move.
it would, yeah, we tore the tranny out
Tore
and
the
stuff. Plus we
transmission out.
realized the suspension, the springs were too stiff. The car wasn't doing any type of response to what we were telling it to do and stuff too. So, well guys, we appreciate you hanging out with us. Here comes the next one. Have a great day.